Hello, and thanks for joining us this Friday evening.
Here's what's on the programme tonight and a warning there are distressing images from the start.
A man who punched two female officers in the face during a brawl at Manchester Airport is jailed for 3.5 years.
Another by-election.
Andy Burnham, the man who may be Prime Minister within a month, turns out to support Labour candidate Bev Craig as she launches her campaign to become Mayor of Greater Manchester.
It's the studio everyone's been talking about. We check in with ITV World Cup pundit Karen Carney from Brooklyn as England prepare to face Panama on Saturday.
I'll be here to tell you all about this summer's most exciting music experience, and the good news, well, it's happening right on your doorstep.
And the highest June temperature record finally tumbled after 50 years on Wednesday, then again yesterday, and then again today. More details coming up in the programme.
Well, first tonight, you allowed the public to feel sorry for you when you used me as a punch bag. The words of a police officer who was left beaten and battered after a brawl at Manchester Airport.
Today, Mohammed Fahir Amaz was sentenced to 3.5 years following the attack that was caught on camera.
A court heard how officers PC Ellie Cook and PC Lydia Ward were viciously assaulted after he'd picked up his mother from a flight.
Our correspondent Rob Smith is outside Liverpool Crown Court. And Rob, a warning to our viewers that the footage they're about to see is distressing.
Yeah, it is distressing, and there are words of that officer, the now Sergeant Lydia Ward, that you should also hear tonight. Extra words she said to Mohammed Fahir Amaz in this courtroom today, said to him directly. She did indeed say, "You use me as a punch bag," but then she added, "I will get back up and I'll show you how strong I am." The officer, who was a PC at the time of the attack at Manchester Airport in July 2024, said that she had never seen anyone so violent as Amaz. You'll likely remember that distressing footage that was all over social media, all over every news outlet back then. Sergeant Ward said she remembered Amaz looking her directly in the eyes before he hit her. She was struck to the floor, and then she was down on the ground thinking, this is it. Amaz had attacked her and her colleague PC Ellie Cook after they responded to reports of an assault on a member of the public, an airline passenger at an airport cafe. PC Cook, in her victim impact statement read to the court by the prosecution lawyer, said that her vision went black when Amaz hit her, and the blows were so forceful, she thought 3 or 4 people were hitting her. Now, somehow, she managed to get her taser out and fire it, and she put a question to Amaz. She said, "What would you have done if I hadn't? You wanted to take us all out." The judge jailed the 21-year-old from Rochdale for 3.5 years for his attacks on the officers and that member of the public, and he referenced the psychological and physical harm done in the process. Sergeant Ward had to have surgery on her nose. Her nose was broken in the attack. She's been left with a scar that she says reminds her forever of what went on. PC Cook was so traumatised by the event that she has given up being a firearms officer. A career she loved, she said, has been ripped from her, and she wants Amaz to have flashbacks of what went on in this court today, just as she has flashbacks of what he did to her at the airport. The judge pointed out to Amaz he'd shown no remorse throughout this entire process. He'd even tried to paint himself as a victim. He made it abundantly clear to him that that was not the case. It is worth noting that Amaz and his brother were both cleared of attacking another officer, a male police officer, after 2 juries couldn't reach a verdict over that. And there is an ongoing investigation by the police watchdog, the IOPC. Both Sergeant Ward and PC Cook are being treated as witnesses in that.
OK, Rob, in Liverpool tonight, many thanks.
In other news today, 13 co-defendants of a Greater Manchester man accused of conspiring to drug and rape his unconscious wife can now be named. Reporting restrictions on identifying the men from across the UK were lifted today ahead of a trial in Manchester in September. 9 are from the northwest. 73-year-old Graham Braun from Northwich denies 3 charges. Jonathan Kirk, who's 43 and from Stockport, will join him on trial later in the year. Alan Keelan, seen on the right, denies 2 counts of rape and conspiracy to rape. Sean Pears from Stockport also faces 2 charges. Philip Wilde, Mohammed Sabir, Robert Stewart, Jordan Wallace and Richard Townsend were also named today. they deny all charges against them.
Well, next, and the heat refuses to let up, and with temperature records being broken again across the country for the third day running.
Yeah, firefighters in Derbyshire say a huge fire at Tintwistle Moor has now been contained following a two-day battle. At its height, the fire near Glossop was the size of 280 football pitches.
Yeah, fires like this are on the increase as our climate continues to change. Our reporter Martin Stew spent the day with Lancashire Fire and Rescue to find out how they might be firefighting the wildfires of the future.
It's burning hot. Tintwistle Moor near Oldham, a visceral victim of the heatwave. Last year set a record for the number of wildfires in England and Wales, 565 in the first half of the year alone. This year there have been fewer, but the fact it's still well above average is striking when you consider we had one of the wettest ever winters. And fire severity rating right now is currently very high across much of the country.
That flame length, there's a good chance it's going to jump that.
Crews in Lancashire have been trialling new techniques to deal with exactly this sort of thing.
Just let that fire build up a little bit.
Counterintuitively, using controlled fires as a tool to create fire breaks and burn away vegetation before the peat itself catches light.
As they come together, that has removed all the fuel for that wildfire going that way. So in effect, they're going to put each other out. If we hadn't lit that fire, there's every chance that that fire moving across would jump that gap and then be able to jump onto that grass over there and keep going.
So you're burning a bit to stop burning a lot?
Yeah, exactly.
It's been an 8-year journey of learning.
So you can see there on the moorland of Winter Hill, in 2018, the whole side of that moor had a significant fire.
Caroline spent weeks on Winter Hill fighting a fire which spread across an area the size of 3,000 football pitches, often relying on beaters.
One of the hardest things to fight more fires is getting water to the flames, but this device, which is a four-wheel drive all-terrain vehicle, can carry 4,000 litres and act as a mobile command centre. In a sign of just how much our climate is changing, the team have been learning lessons from Africa.
The wildfire season is expanding, so it's starting earlier, it's finishing later, and South Africa, because it's got the heat and the humidity that we probably very similar to what we're experiencing today, it gave us that opportunity to do it in a real setting with live fire.
We've got all these resources have all been brought down to it.
At command control, they're keeping a close eye on the situation, ready to mobilise their new techniques and kit.
We can start to use resources from out of the county and pull them further in, but obviously that's quite a drain.
Rain is still often the best defence, but there's not a huge amount of that in the forecast. Martin Stew, ITV News.
Now, at the start of the week, all eyes were on Andy Burnham as the so-called King of the North headed south to Westminster.
Yeah, after winning the Makerfield by-election, it left his role as the Mayor of Greater Manchester vacant, and focus now shifts as to who will replace him.
Well, today Andy Burnham was back in Manchester to give the Labour candidate Bev Craig his backing, and Anna Yosef joins us now. Anna, you were at the campaign launch. How was it?
Well, Bev Craig chose to kick off her official bid to become the Metro Mayor of Greater Manchester at Radcliffe Football Club. She's already been a key player in Manchester politics for many years. She's been leader of the City Council since 2021. But whether she has Burnham's star power, if you like, remains to be seen. Certainly, Labour will be hoping that she can benefit from her connection to the Burnham brand and his endorsement, because this election isn't a done deal. This by-election is not a done deal. There's a feeling that Labour are going to have to brace themselves for a tough fight with Reform UK after losing more than 100 seats across Greater Manchester in May's elections. Now, her big pledge at this launch was to provide free bus travel for 11 to 18-year-olds. She says that's going to put hundreds of pounds back into the pockets of families who are really struggling. And I asked Bev Craig if she was promising continuity or change.
I'm promising to build on what we've done. And for me, I've worked so closely with Andy in recent years that this is about saying we can't put at risk the progress that we've made, but we can continue to drive forward. And I'm standing to build on Andy's legacy, to say that the next decade in Greater Manchester can be the best that we've seen if we get these big plays right. be that around homes, be that around transport, and be that around opportunities. We need to build on our success to be able to take ourselves to the next level.
Anna, you mentioned the King of the North. He was back on home turf to lend his support.
That's right. You know, I think it would have been more of a talking point, Gamal, if he hadn't been there. Lucy Powell and Angela Rayner also turned up to show their support. And Burnham told the crowd how happy he was to be back home after a very busy week in Westminster. Of course, he was sworn in as the MP for Makerfield on Monday and confirmed. What a surprise. Yes, he does want that top job. He wants to be Prime Minister. He spoke about how they must defend together what they've built together and how the party must stand against the politics of division. He said that he believed Bev Craig should, quote, be the next team captain in Manchester.
We are for us, all of us. Bev's for us. We all think like that and we build things together and we build things from the ground up. And that's the Greater Manchester spirit. Greater Manchester is for we, not me. Greater Manchester is all about working together. The B means team.
Did you know he had a bee on his bicep?
I do now.
We do now.
Sun's out, guns out.
Yes. And don't forget, the by-election will be on the 30th of July.
Lovely. Anna, thanks so much for your time. Well, there's 5 candidates in total that have so far declared for the election, and you can see them now on your screen, listed in alphabetical order.
Still to come on the programme tonight. Manchester City looks set to make a club record signing, and we'll find out why one golf club went back in time for one day only.
And here across our region, we broke our highest June temperature record yesterday, 34 on the dot in Crosby. What's it looking like over the weekend? Join me very shortly.
Well, next tonight to the 17-year-old girl from Preston who's had her dream come true by learning to make ice cream and selling it.
Yeah, Annie Pickup has been raising money for the hospice where her and the family are helped with the rare genetic condition she has. Anne O'Connor reports.
Annie Pickup has faced a lifetime of health challenges with a rare genetic disorder known as Kabuki syndrome. But it's not stopped her fulfilling her ambition of learning how to make ice cream and selling it, raising money for Derrien House, a children's hospice in Chorley that looks after her and her family from Hutton. And that's where Nota Riani's comes in. The famous Blackpool beachfront ice cream parlour is the latest place Annie's been to learn about her favourite treat, courtesy of Luca, the latest generation of his family to own the attraction. They make vanilla ice cream here and a lot of it. Then you choose your own toppings and sauce. But Annie has simple taste.
A vanilla 99.
A vanilla 99, good choice. I'm sure lots would agree. So when you've been seeing it being made, what did you think?
I thought it was cool.
It is cool, isn't it?
Yeah.
All that sugar, Annie.
I know, yeah.
So, seeing it all in the shop today,
yeah.
Has that kind of fulfilled your dream?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is like a bit of an insight. It's sometimes I think everyone doesn't quite realise what goes into it. So it's amazing to show Annie, you know, to fulfil a wish and show her how the ice cream is made and to be an ice cream lady for the day.
Not only has she had so many ice cream experiences already, but she's using that to raise money for Derrien House, which supports her family. And I think it's just such a heartwarming thing to see. She's such an incredible young woman.
She'll be at Preston's Flag Market on Saturday the 27th of June, hoping to add to the £1,000 she's already raised for Derrien House. Anne O'Connor, ITV News, Blackpool.
How appetising is that ice cream?
Oh, I could eat about 3 off,
man.
Annie.
Yeah. If you're in Preston tomorrow, make sure to cool down with an ice cream from Annie. Onto sport now, and the post-Pep Guardiola era is kicking off with a major new signing, Chris.
Yeah, biggest signing in their history, possibly the biggest in British transfer history too. England World Cup star Elliot Anderson is set to join Manchester City after they agreed a deal with Nottingham Forest. The fee for the midfielder is believed to be £116 million, though some reports suggest a British record £130 million, which is £5 million more than Liverpool paid for Alexander Isak. Well, Anderson is currently preparing for England's final World Cup group game against Panama tomorrow night. The game is live on ITV1, with former Lioness Karen Carney among the pundits. A short while ago, I spoke to her on set in New York and began by asking if she'd seen many North West England fans across the pond.
To be fair, we have definitely seen all the jerseys. I thought we were at a World Cup, but we've seen a lot of club jerseys. So, yeah, there's definitely a representation from the North here, so you'll be proud of that one.
I tell you something, we're very proud of our set here at Granada Reports, but you've raised the bar this year. That is some backdrop. What's it like to be presented out there?
I just want to clarify, it's not AI, it's not a green screen, that is actually real. So yeah, when you walk up, you're kind of like, wow, you know, Statue of Liberty, Staten Island, downtown Manhattan. This is the best view of the city and certainly the best set I've ever been on, probably likely to ever be on as well. So yeah, we're very proud of it here.
And the final's going to be there as well, isn't it? So what do we think? Do you think England can get there? Let's get to the crunch question straight away, shall we?
Look, I'm a former England player, England fan. I'd be dead like they did against Croatia. I think that's when we'll come into our own and our physical dominance will really help towards the back end of the tournament.
Karen, you know what it's like to be away with England at a tournament like this. We've seen some amazing scenes from pubs and fan parks back home, particularly that Croatia game. Do those scenes get shown to the players? Do they see them? And does it lift them like we hope it does?
Yeah, oh, absolutely. It definitely gets back. And I think the biggest one is when we get home and we hopefully see a parade of a winning England men's team like we did for the Lionesses. That's when I think the team would really fully understand how much this country is behind this team and how well we want them to do. But so far the messages, the pub scenes, the environments, everybody, the barbecues, everyone that's taking part in getting behind this team, it does get fed back for sure.
I want to ask you a really tricky, controversial one now, Karen. I hope you're ready for this one. Are we going to see?
Don't do it then.
Are we going to see Wonderwall replace Sweet Caroline as the unofficial anthem of England now?
Who knows? I mean, they're both tunes. They're both big, iconic tunes. But I know the audience that I'm talking to right now, so I don't want to upset the Northwest.
I'm sure you've heard it all before, but you never really had it down.
As long as the fans and the players feel connected through the music, I don't see a problem. Whatever makes everyone happy, I'm on board with.
Let me just ask you very briefly, what is your favourite moment of this World Cup so far?
I think my favourite moment, obviously it's still very early stages, I have to say was the England-Croatia game. Obviously we had that game here at ITV and I think we all sat back and went, wow, when England had that second game. But again, I'm really hopeful that we get back to that first performance against Panama on Saturday.
Yeah, coverage of England v Panama gets underway on ITV1 from 8:45 tomorrow night. Now to beat Catalan Dragons 18-16 to move level on points with Leeds Rhinos at the top of the table. There's big news for Manchester Basketball, who've been selected for next season's Champions League. It'll be the second year in a row they play in Europe after finishing runners-up in the European North Basketball League. It's another huge step forward for the club, who today officially opened their newly refurbished community court in Kringle Park in Levenshulme.
I grew up here, so, you know, I would never have thought, you know, Manchester, my team, is going into Champions League. So, you know, it's huge. And I grew up on courts with, you know, nothing like this. Absolutely nothing like this. You know, my courts were terrible. Having this and, you know, this being built, it's amazing. You know, it's good for the next generation.
If you think about basketball, courts were always the original community hub, and look how amazing this is for the community now. We've worked really closely with Manchester City Council, Basketball England, to make sure that as a collaborative entity we can provide courts like this across Manchester, so hopefully there'll be more to come through those partnerships.
And finally from me to Royal Lytham Golf Course, which today stepped back in time to mark 100 years since the course first staged the Open Championship. 72 players took to the links today in 1920s outfits and swinging hickory clubs, the same type of clubs used by Bobby Jones when he won the event in 1926.
These guys were exceptional golfers in their time,
But to use that equipment compared to now, it just shows you how good they really were. Modern clubs have a thing called flex, which is just when the club bends in one direction, and hickories have flex and torque, where the whole shaft twists as it's going backwards and forwards. It's a nightmare.
You need a slow swing and a soft ball. They are the main ingredients for it. I think everyone should try it. I think your golf gets better after that.
This will be a very unique experience. I've never played with hickory sticks before, and we're going to see how it goes.
And the Open returns to the Northwest next month. Royal Birkdale hosting it for the 11th time.
It'd be brilliant. Thanks so much, Chris. Well, finally this evening, and if you're a music fan, you may be missing Glastonbury Festival, which would normally be taking place this weekend.
Worthy Farm is in a fallow year, and to fill the void, the Music Venue Trust has stepped up to create the Everywhere at Once Festival.
Yeah, hundreds of gigs will be taking place across the country at small venues to support the vital sector that continues to struggle.
And Wigan's favourite sons, the Lathams, return to their hometown to play a show back where it all started. Here's what the lucky ticket holders can expect.
I can't get you out my mind, and even if I could, I wouldn't. One last chance to die, my lover. One more breath to say I wouldn't try.
Yeah, great, aren't they? The Lathams there performing in our studio. Well, let's cross live now to the Boulevard in Wigan Town Centre. And Emma, it's going to be a sold-out, sweaty mess, isn't it?
Well, you can say that again, Katie, but I'm sure those fans, they won't mind a little hot flush or two. Shall we set the scene? So they'll come here in about an hour's time, they might get a drink, and then they'll make their way into the main part of the venue. And of course, that's where all the excitement is, isn't it? Because not only are you there and the crowd's growing, but you're about to see one of your favourite bands. And not only that, the joy of these kind of grassroots venues means that you are within touching distance. Just as it happens, the Lathams are here right now, or two of them at least. Alex, to you first of all, how are you feeling about tonight's gig?
Very excited. It's been a long time coming, so it's nice to come back to our roots.
Yeah, and you know, you've played some really big gigs. You've done the Co-op, you've done Glastonbury. Why is it so important to still come back to this?
I think it's kind of where we started. It's nice to come back to like homegrown fans that was there from the beginning. It's a lot more intimate, and it's, I think every venue and every gig has its place. Like.
And to you then, Scott, you know, you have played at this venue before, haven't you?
Yeah, indeed, 6 years ago, I believe now, just before their first album. Yeah.
Do you remember much from that night?
Not really. I wore a nice little blazer. That's about, I remember that. That's about it, though.
And it's a hometown gig tonight, so I'm sure one or two faces that are familiar to you will be back again tonight.
Yeah, definitely. My mum and dad will be here around the place somewhere. My missus will be knocking around too.
Ah, fantastic stuff. I hope you have a fantastic night. Let me just bring in Jay, who's from the Music Venue Trust. Tell us, Jay, about why this is so important, these grassroots venues.
Well, this project is bringing gigs to the doorstep, in the place of Glastonbury, to the doorstep of communities. These venues are where kind of culture and communities clash together. They're incredibly important. They're very affordable shows as well. These are places that aren't going to break the bank when you buy a ticket.
And that's interesting, isn't it? Because I think a lot of people, maybe when they go to Glastonbury, they might save up all year. Some people won't even be able to afford that, would they?
Well, the average price at a grassroots level for a ticket in the UK dances around 11, 12 quid.
Wow.
A lot of the shows are free as well.
Tell us about some of the other big acts, because you've got a lot of gigs on this weekend.
We have Becky Hill, Tiny Temper in the Northwest. We've got West Side Cowboy, we've got Fentanyl, loads going on.
And just give us an idea, because you were telling me the figures before and my mind was trying to keep up with them.
Yeah, so there's over 400 venues hosting over 2,000 artists.
I mean, that's incredible. Just tell us how you get all those artists, how all those venues on board.
Well, we work really hard, don't we? We're very good at it. We're quite good at it.
I mean, no, honestly, give us an idea, because it's hard, isn't it, to kind of coordinate all that type of
Well, we have a network of venues called the Music Venues Alliance, over 900 venues, around 900 venues in the UK. And we've got a really amazing relationship with those venues. We speak to them every day. Part of how we've been able to kind of deliver this is because we've got that great relationship.
And the thing is, without this, you're not going to get the next Lathams, are you? You're not going to get the next big band without this kind of support at grassroots level.
Sure, this is where artists cut their teeth. It's where they kind of experiment. It's where they make mistakes, where they hone their craft. some artists, end up going all the distance, like the Lathams, and end up on big stages.
Yeah, listen, thank you so much.
You're
Good
welcome.
luck for the rest of the weekend. So the message here, of course, is very simple. Whether you're here to see the Lathams tonight or another gig at somewhere else up and down the country this weekend, the message is that grassroots venues are, and always have been, where it's at. Back to the studio.
100%. Emma, many thanks indeed.
Well, it is going to be hot for them, and it's hot for us as well. Here's Tori with all the details.
Why do I need a shower? I've been out in the rain.
The faster you go, the sooner you'll be out. You'll save water too.
United Utilities sponsors ITV Granada weather.
Well, yesterday we hit our all-time June record for us, 34 Celsius in Crosby. Then today we got really, really close. The final figures will be confirmed by the Met Office at the end of play today. But you'll see the temperatures really do drop off from here on in. Not tonight. Of course, as I've mentioned, we had our highest ever June daytime maximum temperature yesterday. Last night, though, in Blackpool, it didn't get any lower than 22.2. That is so muggy. That humidity holds on tonight. It lingers through tomorrow. But even then, you might notice a little bit of a change. Let's have a little bit more look at the detail. The oranges and red colours on this thermal field that you've been seeing a lot of recently are sliding their way into the nearby continent. And this is what we're really looking for. This cold air, or comparatively cold air, coming our way behind this weather front. And that is what's going to flow through over the course of the weekend. So through this evening and overnight, there might just be one or two thunderstorms still lingering over the hills. They will disappear, and the warning for the extreme heat comes off at midnight as well. That's not to say it won't be humid out there. Some places no lower than 20 Celsius again overnight, but the breeze is picking up, so with an open window it might just feel that little bit more comfortable. Sunrise is at 4:42 and sunset is at 9:46. A little bit more cloud coming through in the morning, one or two spots of rain, again more of a breeze, so yes, sun in the afternoon, but top temperatures of 26. That's still warm for a summer's day, but it's going to be a good deal lower than it has been recently. And then we see the fresher air finally coming our way through the end of play on Saturday and into Sunday.
United Utilities sponsors ITV Granada weather.
Making the most of summer. Piri sponsors ITV pollen count.
We still have very high levels of grass pollen at the moment, as well as high levels of both weed and wildflowers, but a little lower to high over the coming couple of days.
That's all from us. Have a wonderful weekend, and thanks for watching.
Bye.